Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your reading. It is the sneak peek for the week. How are you, friends? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for stopping in here. Look, woo, we made it through all of the eclipses, right? We're all kind of in this place where now things will be changing for us. Our lives vibrationally will be splitting away from things that no longer serve us and moving into new parts of our lives. And we've also are in now the new equinox, right? We are in fall, and it's my favorite season as an earth sign. I love the fall time. We're still in the energy, or still in the weather here in central Canada, where one night it can be like 30 degrees, and then the next, as the day progresses, it gets to be 75. It's crazy. We don't know whether to wear shorts or parkas at this point. But how's the weather where you are, by the way? And welcome to Libra season. Just like that, we are in Libra season, and it's going to be a good one, y'all. Libra's got some good energy in their sign coming up. They've got what is going to be in Libra? I think it's Mercury is in Libra already, and Venus is showing up on the 13th of October. So look, that's communication, negotiation, diplomacy. Venus is smoothing the edges, right? It's going to be very different from Virgo season, which had us sort of on the edge of our seats, and maybe even a little bit of romantic energy coming up in Libra season. So here we are. I've got 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from each of those decks for you today. And I will mark everything down below, so you can just scroll this video to find what it is that you need. I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. And honestly, if you can't come here with discernment, please just stop watching tarot altogether, because you should never give your power over to a tarot reader. Whatever the tarot reader says, please take with a grain of salt, because it's a general reading. It may not be your message. So yes, I'm going to mark everything down below. Please go ahead and scroll the video to find whatever it is that you need. I hope that you will go look for your moon and your rising sign. Even if you don't have your exact time of birth, you can go with whether you were born in the AM or the PM and find a rising sign for yourself. I think that's all I need to tell you. Oh yeah, private readings are open. I'm doing live readings. I'm doing pre-recorded readings. Thank you for all your bookings. Gosh, you guys are keeping me so very, very busy, and I'm so grateful for it. Getting to know y'all and your energy has just been the most biggest blessing of my life. And talking to you on the phone live is incredible. So today I've got a couple of calls. I'm looking forward to speaking to a couple of you today. And I'm going to go and start this. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries, my fire family. Tell me what's going on for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We are now past the eclipses. Now this is where all the hard work begins, the heavy lifting. All the changes are here, and you've got to make, it's like Virgo helped you pull everything out of the closet. Now you've got to put everything back in. Let's find out what is going on for Aries, fire family. Keep telling you guys I'm a Taurus sun, but I think 90% of my chart is fire. It's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius energy. Tell me about Aries, please. Tell me about Aries. Aries, we have the Two of Swords. That's what I said. The heavy lifting is here. It's time to make the hard decisions, the hard cuts. It's time to stop protecting yourself and protecting your heart. It's time for you to start making the deep cuts here. And I don't think you want to, because the Seven of Wands is here. I think it's time for you. This is like a time for you to stand up for yourself here, Aries, and to make decisions that are the best for you, regardless of how the people around you feel. And I don't think you want to make those decisions, but I think you know that you have to. I feel like it's something that is something that is going to give you stability, but it's necessary for your survival, for your material wealth, for your stability, for the King of Pentacles energy. And I feel like overall you might value being financially well off, or material wealth is important to you, or this could be stability, security, you building a business, making sure that all of that is secure. We do have judgment cards. Gosh, yeah, that's exactly what the energy is about. It's about making these really big decisions that the universe has been trying to push you toward, tapping you, toward making some sort of really big decision in your life, Aries. And I think that it's time. I think that the clock has run out, and it's time for you to start making decisions about what you're doing from here, because the judgment card does indicate that there is a rebirth that is here now. It's here. It's here. No more waiting. No more waiting through Virgo season. It's here. This is, to me, as a reader, as an energy reader with Virgo and Pisces, it feels like your intuition has been pushing you forward, telling you it's time to make these big decisions. What big decisions is Aries making? The moon energy, you're not really sure, but you know something's got to change. It feels like something's got to change in order to secure whatever is yours, in order to secure a more stable life. And I just feel like with this moon energy, it's like, where do I start? That's what it feels like with the Two of Swords. But where do I start, Elsie? What decision do I make first? The Five of Cups says, I don't want to be in regret. I don't think you can find a way around it, Aries, to be honest. I don't think there's a way around it. I feel like you've just got to Rambo the moon energy. As Casper Sight would say. Do you guys ever watch Casper Sight? He's great. But as we Rambo this dark energy here, this moon energy, this cloudy energy, not sure, right? The moon energy is things are not as they seem, but I don't want to be in regret about things I did do or things I wasn't able to do. We do have the Nine of Pentacles. The universe is telling you, look, you've just got to find your confidence. That no matter what, Aries, I feel like you're going to be standing strong. I feel like you're coming through breakthroughs here. The Judgment card and the Sun is a major awakening. Somebody's being shaken awake, and it feels like it might put you on a path to somewhere where you have to rebuild alone. Build your confidence, build your reputation. You might have to wait for something to fall to the ground. And then when the illusion falls, what you thought you were supposed to do as opposed to what you're actually here for is what is going to show up when the sun shines. We've got the King of Swords. Yeah, when the sun comes out, you have a breakthrough with the King of Swords. I've got to do what's right. The truth, the honesty, the facts don't lie. The truth doesn't really care if you don't like the truth. The truth is always going to be what it is. And the Six of Swords tells me one of these truths for you might be that you're living in a chaotic situation at this time, either in the mind or in your life, and it's time for you to move to calmer waters. So I feel like the King of Swords is here to help you sort things out, cut through the bullshit, and say, it's time. I've got to make these decisions. The sun is out, now I can't ignore it. Right? When the sun is out, you see everything and you can't ignore the heartache, the heartbreak, the disappointment that you've been going through, Aries. It's time for you to make decisions. It's time for you to make some cuts. And it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. What's the outcome for Aries? We've got the Page of Cups, Temperance card, and the Knight of Cups. It does bring you to a place where I feel that I don't feel like this ends up in a terrible, horrible, awful place for you. I feel like it ends up in new beginnings. I feel like you're going to surprise yourself when the moment of alchemy shows up, because you might be watching this right now saying, I don't know what you're talking about. There's not a damn thing going on in my life that matches this. And that's okay, because maybe it's not your reading because it's a general reading. But with Temperance here, it tells me you haven't seen it yet. You're about to be surprised by something, because the moment of alchemy is going to shift you. And when it shifts, the Knight of Cups shows up. And you've been moving really, really slow towards something. But I feel like when the shift comes, when Temperance shows up, it's going to shock you. And then you are going to, or surprise you. And then you're going to have to move a little quicker. What's around the corner for Aries? We've got the Nine of Cups. We've got the Strength in the reverse and the Ace of Swords in the reverse, with the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So you are leaving the crossroads, my friend. You certainly are. You are leaving the crossroads. The Two of Wands is here with the Fool, and you are planting a pentacle somewhere else. The Page of Wands is here. It makes you feel excited. People around you might not be excited, but the Nine of Cups tells me, now I've got my own inner happiness. I don't have to worry about what everybody says. What they say doesn't matter, because the inner strength is what I'm working on now. The Ace of Swords is in the reverse. It tells me you just may not tell anybody what's going on until the time at which you actually execute the plan, because you know it's going to be arguments and fights and fundamental differences, and people are going to try and talk you out of leaving the crossroads and going onto your new path. Oh boy. Yikes. Is that what this is all going to be about? Aries, you're always the one that leads us in with this crazy energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy here. We've got Leo, Virgo, and Pisces. We've got more Leo energy. Cancer, Taurus, Sagittarius, more Sag. We've got Cancer and Pisces energy. Tells me things right now are under the surface. Whew, you're about to make some logical decisions that aren't going to be favorable for everybody. Taurus, Here we are, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter for my bull gang. How you doing, friends? Tell me about Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me what's coming up for Taurus in the next 7 days. The sneak peek for this week. Happy Libra season. Tell me about Taurus here. Taurus, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. That's interesting. Why is it in the reverse? Just making sure the deck wasn't in the reverse. We've got, oh, look at that. We got the High Priestess in the reverse. Ooh, something exciting is going to be revealed. I feel like something you've been waiting on, friend. Two of Pentacles is here. There's a decision that's being made here, and I feel like it's about to be revealed to you. The Page of Wands tells me that it's exciting, but under the surface, something that I feel is gurgling under the surface. It's a little bit of excitement. Okay, I'm just seeing I'm seeing a volcano under the surface of the ocean. So it's like the lava's coming out, right? But I can see it under the water. It feels like it's making the water boil. Maybe you've been waiting for a while, watching the pot boil here. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. So Taurus, it does feel like there's something here that's being revealed to you that you've been waiting on. You've been waiting on some sort of decision, maybe for someone to make a decision about you, or maybe for something to come to fruition. Maybe it's a job. We've got 8 Pentacles here. The 2 of Pentacles is here. 8 and 2 is 10. It's something that is going to be solid in your life for a long while. It could be results on tests for your health. It could be something about a new job. It could be, yeah, it feels like it's a decision that's being made about something that you're willing and able to put your efforts forward on here, because the Eight of Pentacles is about doing the hard work, right? It's about working on the self also. So this could be, like I said, about something that is health related, or maybe it has to do with your money. If it does have to do with money, something's being revealed about your finances that I feel you've been waiting on, because the Page of Wands is in the reverse and not in the upright. So it's been under the surface, a little bit of excitement under the surface. We've got the Four of Pentacles on the surface. You're duck on a pond. You're like, nah, I'm all good. I'm all good. You're like wandering about right on the surface of the water, but your legs are like, ah! Like, I think that's what the Page of Wands is like. I'm just waiting on this answer here. We've got the Seven of Wands in the reverse. Look, these are both reveals. This is a reveal after the silence. This is a secret that's being revealed. Tell me what this is. We've got the Emperor. Look, something is going to be revealed to you by someone of influence. Possibly the Emperor will be revealed to you. Maybe you've been wondering, Elsie, who is this Emperor you keep talking about? I feel like that person is going to be revealed to you probably in the next 7 days. For those of you who this is resonating with here, but it feels like something that's been hiding, Four of Pentacles, is about to be brought to the surface, is what it looks like here. We've got Justice. What? We got the Nine of Swords, and we've got the Three of Wands. This is going to open up a door for you and take you into the future. This is advancement. This is expansion. This is the future. I'm now stepping into my future. The Nine of Swords is here with Justice, and it makes me feel like this is something that has been giving you a little bit of anxiety, or you've had this feeling in your gut like, where is it? I feel that it's coming. Where is it? Justice card is here. Some of you are going to hear about it. Some of you are gonna figure out who the Emperor is, or what this security and stability is. It doesn't have to be a person. These cards are all about energy. They could be people, but they don't have to be. Some of you, the Emperor is going to be revealed to you. Some of you, this person of influence is going to make a difference in your life and reveal something to you, something like a secret. This could be a secret crush for some of you. Maybe you've been crushing on the Emperor, and maybe the Emperor is now going to reveal that they're crushing on you. We do have the King of Pentacles. So I feel like what this is telling me here is that for some of you, if you're in a legal thing, it's going to bring financial wellness for you. You are going to win the case, it feels like here. But I feel like it's something that's been under the surface for you, and you've just been waiting because you know that whatever the King of Pentacles is, whether that's good health, wealth, money, material world, job that I was talking about, whatever that is going to give you a really good start into your own future. And I think that this Nine of Swords is a little bit of wondering, when is that going to be, Elsie? Tell me what's being revealed here for Taurus. Tell me what's being revealed. What's being revealed is the Three of Pentacles. It is the Queen of Wands and the Chariot. So it's time to go. I'm going to say this Hanged Man here is telling me that things have been in a pause. Somebody has been trying to figure out what they need and what they don't need. I'm going to sacrifice something for Taurus. Or Taurus needs to sacrifice something in order to move forward. The Three of Pentacles is building of a new foundation. And then we have the Queen of Wands, who is the person who is making the great, big, and bold move forward. And I don't care if I fall and skin my knees. I don't care if I fall on my nose. I'm just going to get back up, dust myself off, and I'm going to keep moving because the Chariot's here. Taurus, something big is about to reveal itself to you, and it feels like it is something that is going to cause you to move in a really big and bold way. Whatever is coming at you is going to cause you to make a decision about building a new foundation. This could be love, this could be health, this could be wealth, this could be money. Take it as it resonates for you. For some of you, the Emperor is revealing who they are. Tell me what the outcome is here for Taurus. We've got the Eight of Cups, we've got the Hierophant, and we've got the World card. Wow. Listen, I feel like you are leaving an old path. You're detaching from things that you were settling for. I think you told yourself you really liked the job you were in, or you told yourself that the relationship you were in was sufficing, was satisfying to you. I don't think it was. I feel what you're doing is you're detaching and leaving a place where you were settling for less than what you were worth. And I think that the Hierophant's telling me that you're moving into a much sturdier, strong structured life, a structured relationship, a structured job. And the World card is here. You literally are letting go of an old chapter of your life and closing all the doors. This is for those of you who are no longer waiting for the person from the past. This is you closing the door and saying, I don't care if they come forward. The door is locked. It's padlocked. I put wood slats across it and nailed them all tight. Nothing is following me in from the old vibration. Tell me what is around the corner for Taurus. We've got the Four of Cups, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, and we've got the King of Pentacles. Look, you've outgrown your comfort zone. That's what it is. The Nine of Pentacles is where you get your confidence, and you decide you can do it on your own. I never really did need anybody by my side. I can do this on my own, but the Four of Cups tells me that it can no longer contain you. The Four of Cups, the comfort zone, the stability of the emotions can no longer contain you. You're growing out of it. You go from pre-Empress energy to the Knight of Pentacles. It feels like it's something that has been growing within you slowly, but now you are emerging as your pre-Empress energy and saying, look, I'm here. Ta-da. Here I am. Deal with me. Is what it feels like. Yep, the moon is here. I think that the moon is here. The Fool is here. It feels like this is your moment, I think, that you were trying to wait for the universe to tell you when it was time to stand up and move forward into the new chapter. There we go. We are in the new moon energy, my friends. And Virgo is still asking us to, now that we've cleaned out the closet, to put everything back the way we want it. When we take everything out of the basement, how are we going to decorate the basement and then build the cupboards to organize everything? We've got Virgo energy. We've got Aries. We've got Cancer and Pisces. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got more Taurus energy. We've got Cancer energy. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. We've got Piscean energy. So I think what's coming to the surface for you, Taurus, is something that you knew was coming, and now this is it. This is it now. It's coming at you in the next 7 days. And so whatever you've been waiting for, whatever that feeling in your gut has been, that something is on the way, I think that something is about to show up for you here. And it's good. It's all pentacles, man. It's really good. Here we go, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini. Tell me about Gemini. How are you, Gemmies? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. The next 7 days for Gemini, please. We have the Chariot in the reverse. You, my friend, are feeling a little bit stuck. It feels as though there is something that you want to do that you are not doing. It feels like you're holding yourself back from some sort of connection. It feels like you and the King of Cups, we've got the Queen and the King of Cups here. It feels like it is stopped dead in its tracks. So I don't know if you're in a relationship right now that maybe was going okay and has now fallen into some sort of lack. It feels like we've disconnected. We're not talking to each other anymore. Look, this could be someone that is across the ocean. It could be someone, because we're looking at water, right? It could be someone who's overseas. But it feels like this Chariot in the reverse puts the brakes on. I'm not going anywhere. There's no progress here. And I'm not going any further because I don't think that I'm going to get the victory. Because the kings are not going in taking chances, and, you know, they can't put the whole kingdom at risk. And so I feel like you're thinking that something that possibly was looking a little bit risky from a distance is something that you've really got to figure out what you're doing with it. I feel like you've put on the brakes. You're not speaking to this person. You're not speaking to either this person or the situation. I feel like you're not giving it any more energy until you can figure out what exactly is going on here. Tell me why the brakes are on here. Why did Gemini put the brakes on? We've got the Three of Wands in the reverse. Because things were going too fast. We've got the Eight of Swords. And we've got the Queen of Swords. I feel like you're rethinking something here. I think that something was going too fast, and I feel like you were agreeable all the way along, because we got King, Queen of Cups. I feel like you were go with the flow. Yeah, let's do this. I feel like it was moving in a direction that you were comfortable with. The flow was fine until things started to speed up. And I think that's why you put the brakes on. It feels like you thought, no, my gut's telling me I got to think about this first. The Three of Wands in the reverse is, I'm no longer waiting for the ships to come in. I'm just going to jump in head first. And so it feels like, but in this, I feel like you didn't see the future in whatever decision that you were trying to make. And because you couldn't picture the future, you decided to put the brakes on and you went into the Eight of Swords. I've really got to think about this more before I make a decision, because the Nine Swords are here with the Queen present. And the Queen is never going to make a decision unless she has all the facts, the figures, the pie charts, the accountant has looked at it. You know what I mean? Like, the Queen of Swords is making good decisions and is also ready to cut out whatever she doesn't need. So I feel like you're in your Queen of Swords energy right now, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, and it feels like you're doing that because you're supposed to. The Wheel of Fortune is here, and because you're about to make a really big decision for your life, Gemini, and I don't think you're taking it lightly. I feel like it feels to me like there was you and someone else who were engaging in emotional things. It feels like emotional connection, but it feels like it's from a distance because the Chariot's in the reverse and the Five of Pentacles is here in the upright. It feels like it might be like somebody was putting a whole lot more money, attention, energy, and effort into the relationship, and I think it was you. The other person wasn't giving back as much as you were putting in, and it's caused some sort of break in what we're doing here. I think that you moved into your Queen of Swords energy from your Queen of Cups energy because you're, wait a second, I'm getting lost in this emotional part of it. I've really got to think things out here to get my answer. We've got the Two of Wands. So here you are. You're here at the crossroads looking at where you want to go next. And this person is at the top of the castle, right? I feel like you've built yourself a financial future, and you realize that you could suffer a big financial impact if you make the wrong decision. We've got the Seven of Cups, and now you're thinking about it emotionally. So not only is there confusion of the mind because you're stuck in this confusing energy of the Eight of Swords, but now there's confusion in your emotions. You're like, but is this really what I want? Before I say yes, before I get married, before I bring this person to my country, before I go to their country, is this really what I want? We've got the Two of Swords here. So it does feel like with the Two of Swords that there is a hard decision that you're facing. And that's what happens when we get to the other side of the second eclipse. Virgo has helped you pull everything out of the basement or out of the closets. And now you've got to decide, you got to go shopping at the Container Store now. You got to decide how to put everything back together in a cleaner way. And I feel like there's a hard decision that you have to make here. Sure is. You're whipping out the King of Swords. So now we've got the King of Swords energy, which is, I don't really care if you like my decision. I'm making the decision that's best for me based on facts, figures, and everything that I know to be true. Because the truth doesn't care if you like the truth. The truth is just that. It's the truth. But look, Three Swords are here. I feel like it might break someone else's heart. But I feel like you're about to make a really, really tough decision here, Gemini. We've got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, what do we got here? 888. It might be a decision about your abundance or how you're going to be moving forward from here. The Eight of Wands tells me, yep, things were moving way too fast and you had to slow it down with the Eight of Pentacles and look over the details. I got to do this with precision. I've got to do the things that are best for me. I feel like you've worked on yourself a lot and there's a lot at stake for you. You're showing up as kings and queens here. So I feel like whether you're the masculine or the feminine, you're showing up as a king or a queen here and you've got a lot at stake. You've built something here that you don't want to readily give over to someone else. I feel like the Eight of Pentacles with the Tower here is telling me that if everything falls to the ground, I have the most to lose. It feels like someone else is waiting on you to make a decision that's going to benefit their life, but you have a lot to lose. I feel like everything is shifting here, and it might be shifting financially, but I think it's also shifting in a way that's moving too quick for you, and that's why you've put the brakes on. What's around the corner here, please? We've got the Fool, we've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse, and we've got the Three of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to tell this, you're going to put the brakes on, but you're going to tell this person, look, we could look at building this from the ground up, but we've got to do it really slowly. I feel like you're going to revisit this because the Eight of Cups is in the reverse, and I feel like you will take a step through to the new cycle here, but I also feel like the Three of Pentacles is telling me that you are just telling this person, look, this was going way too fast. I've got to think things out. I've got to be more sorted with my thought process and what I'm willing to give to this relationship, this job, whatever we're talking about, because everything is weighing on me and it's getting very heavy. It really is giving that you're trying to make a decision about either moving someone into your home or going to the next step in your relationship, or maybe someone is overseas and you're bringing them to your country, or you're ready to sell everything and move to their country. It feels like it's a really, really big decision here, Gemini, but it's something that it isn't what it seems, and it's making you nervous. The Four of Pentacles tells me you're not making a move until you've got clarity. We've got Capricorn energy here. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Aries. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Scorpio. We've got Taurus energy here, and Cancer and Piscean energy here. All right. Cancer. Tell me about Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's going on for Cancer this week. The next 7 days, Cancer. Sneak peek for this week. Tell me what's going on for Cancer, please. Cancer, we've got the Four of Swords. You've been healing. Feels like you've been keeping to yourself. Keeping your thoughts to yourself. Got the Empress in the reverse. Because you don't think you're going to win. Feels like you've been trying to come up with a plan, or you've been healing from possibly some of you. There could be a financial impact or an impact on your abundance, whatever that means to you. Impact on the abundance could be the house, home, the car, the job, whatever it is. But the Empress in the reverse energy is somebody who's not necessarily doing it on their own. I feel like my emotions are out of control. I'm not really feeling like I can do this financially by myself. It feels like you are trying to heal from an Empress in the reverse. Also, for some of you, this could be a relationship that you're rethinking because it's gone bad. The Empress in the reverse to me is somebody who is all looks, and there's like one marble rolling around on the inside. It feels like somebody here doesn't have any worth, but worth for themselves is what I'm saying. This Empress in reverse doesn't have any inner worth, but they have, the best suit, the best car, they have their hair on, they have their nails on, they look great from the outside, but they really don't have anything on the inside. We've got the Ten of Pentacles here, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. It feels like you're wondering whether you should give somebody an opportunity of some sort. Should I offer a long-term relationship to this person? Because it feels like you're in this energy of the Four of Swords because you're not really feeling it. You need to have some time to yourself, disconnect, be by yourself, not talk to people, and make your own decision. I feel like the Empress in reverse is your intuition telling you, I don't know, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like I should be making a decision right now. Maybe I should be waiting for temperance, waiting for a moment of alchemy or a shift of energy. And Cancer, I don't think you're feeling it here. Whether it's about a job, a person, a place, a thing, whatever it is, it could have to do with your money. Maybe it's an investment in a business, but it feels like it's something that's long-term. It could impact you financially in the long term because you're ready to make some sort of a solid offer to someone. But I don't know, the Empress is in the reverse. So either this is your intuition saying, I don't know, and that's why you're in the Four of Swords, or this could be a flag, a red flag. Look, it's not a carnival we're dealing with. The red flag could be the Empress is in the reverse. That you see an Empress in the distance, but they are not what you think they are. We've got the Fool energy here. Yeah, you're ready to take some sort of really big step into a long-term happiness or a long-term relationship. You might be amalgamating, moving into their house, them moving into your house. It feels like the Empress in reverse is flagging you, saying, I don't know that it's your intuition saying, I'm not sure that this is the right decision. Because I feel like, Cancer, you're the one that has all the material wealth, that they might be moving into your house, or you might be the person paying the mortgage on your house, or they might end up using your car or using your electricity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the King of Pentacles tells me that you do want to provide all of those things, but it feels like the Ten of Cups tells me it's going to be your pleasure or your happiness to be able to provide those things in this new cycle. But I really feel like you're really thinking about it first before you do it, because this is a major investment. Like the Ace of Pentacles is going to provide long-term financial security in the future. Or it's not, because the Empress is in the reverse. And when the Empress is in the reverse, the Empress doesn't really care about your money, because that means the Queen of Pentacles is in the reverse. That person is looking inward. They're wondering what they can get from the situation, not necessarily wondering how you're going to provide, but what they're going to get from you. I like this version of the Judgment card, because look, somebody is pointing at whatever is out there, but what about that? But what about that? And the universe is pointing back at you. What about you? What do you want? What decision are you going to make? Because ultimately what it is when you point out there, the universe is pointing back at you and saying, don't tell me to make your decision. You are the one who's on this new path. You need to make the decision. We've got the Death card here, and it's going to transform everything. Whether that's good or bad, look, transformation is not always the greatest thing. It means that the situation is changing, and it means that the way we used to be is going to be done. Dead, it's over, the old cycle, and then a new cycle is going to transpire. But the Death card is transformation. It's going to change everything, but you really have to make the right decision, because you have a lot to lose. You have a kingdom. You've built something here. We've got the Seven of Swords. You're unsure. Can I trust the situation? I'm not really sure. If I pull this person into my kingdom, are they going to try and overthrow the throne? We do have the Five of Cups. I don't think you're sure, and I don't think you should make the decision if you're not sure. It feels like this Four of Swords is right back. We go right back to the Four of Swords, where you're not really sure. You're trying to take some time away, disconnect, heal the self, make this decision from a healed place. The Five of Cups is here. It's regret. You don't want to have regret in making this major decision about this major move in your life and ending an old chapter to move into a new one with the Seven of Swords and the Five of Cups. Just be careful with that. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. You're going to wait. We've got the Two of Swords. Look, the Two of Swords is coming up so far. We've got 4 for 4. The Two of Swords is like, now that the eclipse is done, we're making hard decisions, hard ones, because we're either taking this or that. And if I'm taking this, I'm cutting away that. And if I'm taking that, I'm cutting away this. It's a permanent decision. And I feel like it's something that's been blocking you for a little bit here. Got the Seven of Wands. So it feels like you're feeling defensive, or like you have to stand up for yourself. I think you're going to wait to make this decision, because I feel like it deserves all of the attention you can give it at this time. You need to make the right decision. I'm just saying that Empress in reverse has given me all sorts of red flags that are not a carnival. I don't think this will be fun. What's around the corner for Cancer? We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the Hierophant and the Devil energy. Well, there you go. It feels like you think that this person, maybe you said to this person, yeah, we can move in together, but I'm not getting married. But I feel like this person, once they latch on with the Devil energy here to your stability, security, your psychic energy, the Hierophant is your structure, corporation. Look, you might have a business. And just remember to look up wherever you are in the world as to how living with someone is going to allow them to get part of your kingdom. Like, be careful with that stuff, right? I feel like the Hierophant energy and the Nine of Wands is telling me that you've gone through a lot of really hard things in your life, or have had a lot of hardship, or carrying a lot of trauma. And that's how you became the Hierophant. It feels like the reason that you make good decisions and listen to your gut is because of the Nine of Wands, but the Devil is here. You've got someone codependent on your trail here. And we've got the World card. So the question is, do you end it? Do you close the door and say, nope, this is not what I want to do? I don't see this as an accomplishment. I'm not sure if I want to give over my kingdom to you, because right now it feels like you don't want to. It feels like with the Four of Pentacles that you're shut off and shut down. You don't want to be vulnerable, and I don't want to expose my white underbelly, right? I don't want to allow somebody to just shiv me because of something I didn't think through. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. We've got Capricorn, more Scorpio, Virgo, and Pisces, Taurus. We've got Virgo and Capricorn. We've got Aries energy, Libra and Taurus. Air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. Careful with your decision, Cancer. Tell me about Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter the next 7 days, Leo. Let's find out what's going on for you. I've been loving your readings lately, Leo. You are coming right into this place in your life where you are now in control of all of it once again. I feel like you fell off track there for a little bit, and it feels like you are now growing, changing, and taking control of your life. Go look at that Leo reading I put up yesterday. Tell me about Leo, please. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the Empress, and we've got the Four of Wands. It does feel like you are investing in your future. You're investing in some sort of a stable future for yourself. It's an abundant, stable future, and it feels as though you've been through a hardship in your life, or you've come close to this place where you thought you were going to burn out, or you maybe felt a little bit depressed about how things were moving. I feel like things are about to get a lot better as you invest in yourself. I feel like you're seeing your worth, Leo, and that's why I feel like I'm in this energy with you about you beginning to get your stability, or maybe you're buying a house, maybe you're ready to move. It feels like your abundance is about to get bigger. You're about to make more money, maybe the job, maybe you're getting into a very stable and abundant energy here. It feels like it's because you're investing in yourself after coming through a really hard time in your life where I feel that you had to be very brave, I'm going to say. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Three of Swords. We've got the Nine of Cups. And we've got the Magician. Yeah, I feel like you go from the Three of Swords, which is feeling like things weren't working out for you, possibly having to endure things with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords, things that were kind of depressing, or things that were disappointing or heartbreaking. And I feel like with you investing in yourself and finding your stability, that the Nine of Cups is here. You actually you figure out, instead of asking someone to come into your life as your spouse or your significant other or whatever to make you happy, you no longer need that. You're now happy from the inside out, because the nines are all about building it by yourself, and we're looking at emotional happiness here. So the Magician tells me that you've got all the aces up your sleeve, my friend, and I feel like I think in the past it was an illusion that you were happy, but I think you're in this energy of fake it till you make it, and I think right now you're making it. That's what it feels like. This whole fake it till you make it thing, I think, has turned into this place where you actually do believe in your worth, and now you are investing in the self and finding better stability in your life here. We've got the Two of Cups. We've got the Emperor. And we've got the Seven of Wands. You know what it is? I feel like now you're ready for bonds with people, whether they are platonic or romantic, so friendships or family, but it could be romantic as well. You're ready to entangle your energy with other people because you're secure and stable. It feels like your finances are stable, you're secure, you are, I feel, ready for now to invite someone into your life, or to pursue someone. If you're the Emperor, you're doing the pursuing. If you're the Empress, you're the one who's being pursued. Either way, it feels like you're ready to invite someone into your life that's on on your vibration, who feels and thinks and acts and moves the same as you. I feel as though it's time for you to stand up for yourself as the Emperor and say, it's time for my abundance, and I'm ready for a beautiful connection with someone who is on my vibration, with the Emperor and the Empress both here. We do have the Knight of Pentacles, but I'm still going to go slow. I'm going to reassess it. I'm going to go over the analytics and move as slow as I need to, because this is a place that means a lot. I've accumulated a lot of worth. I've accumulated a lot of wealth. I'm ready to share that with somebody, but it's got to be someone who I really can check out, do a background check, go over the details, make sure that you've got all the information about them. And so I think that you're not jumping into anything anymore. I feel like it's going to be slow moving because you have a lot to lose. You're in this Emperor or this Empress energy. What's the outcome? The King of Swords. Yeah, that makes total sense, because the King of Swords is not making a move until they know what's going on, until they have all the facts, the figures, the truth. This is somebody who's going to face it head on, and I'm not scared to ask you the tough questions. And the King of Swords is part of the Emperor energy. So if you're the masculine, you're not going to be scared to ask the tough questions. And if somebody can't answer the questions, well, if they get offended by your questions, I feel, Leo, then you know that they aren't the Empress, or they aren't the Emperor, because the person who is on your vibration is going to understand why you're asking the tough questions. We've got the Three of Wands. You're not moving forward for a second until you figure out whether you are on the same page with someone or not. I feel like you're done with the fundamental differences. If somebody says to you they don't want kids and you want kids, you're just going to back away from them and say thanks for your time. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you are drawing a line in the sand with the King of Swords energy here and the Five of Wands. Drawing a line in the sand and saying, nope. The first moment you tell me you don't like hockey and I love hockey and I want the hockey life, well, you're out. It feels like you're being very picky, and I like it. Keep being very picky, because you're going to find someone who matches your standard. Around the corner, we have the Four of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands, and we have the Two of Swords. Again, we've got every reading I've done so far, the Two of Swords has come up as tough decisions. Tough decisions, because when I don't pick that, I cut that. When I don't pick that, I cut it out. And then I'm going this way. And if I don't pick this, I'm going to cut it out and go that way. But either way, you're making a decision that is going to turn from the Two to the Ace of Swords with this epiphany, clarity, and now I know what I want with the truth and the honesty of the situation. We've got 4 and 2, which is 6 swords. And so it looks like you are moving on into the future, and you're doing it quickly. It feels like you've decided, I need to make a decision. First, I need to close the old chapter, because I feel like this is an accomplishment or a milestone for you, that you're no longer mincing words. You're no longer dealing with people who are giving you half-assed energy. You know what you want, and you're going after it. And if they don't give you what you want, then next. That's what it feels like here. And I don't think that people understand that you are playing under the surface here. So if you walk into a situation where things aren't as they seem, you're out of there. You're not even asking questions. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Virgo, Aries. We've got Cancer energy, Aries and Gemini energy. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. We've got Taurus and Libra, sorry. We've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini energy. All right. Tell me about Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. Thanks for that great season, Virgo, even though it was a little bit hellish for some of us. But look, you encouraged us to get our shit together. So we're really grateful for it. I hope you had a beautiful Virgo season. Tell me what's going on for Virgo in the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sneak peek for this week for Virgo. Virgo, you're on a new path yourself. Look at this. Page of Wands is here. You're excited for the future. Excited to do something new here. We've got the Emperor, the Lovers, and the Five of Swords. Okay, the Nine of Cups is here. It does feel like you're ready to find new love. It feels like you're ready for it finally, Virgo. But I feel like you're ready to pursue it. The Emperor energy is here, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. The Emperor is masculine leaning, understand that. The Emperor is masculine leaning. So whether you're a woman or a man, if you're in this Emperor energy, you're in the energy of pursuit. And so I feel like you are about to pursue love. Put yourself out there. I feel like you're looking for a spark or looking for a little bit of flirty energy. I don't know that you're looking to get married, but it feels like right now you're looking for maybe a spicy interest, right? Somebody you can flirt with, somebody who you can exchange your energy with. And the Five of Swords tells me that you have a specific criteria for the lovers. It feels like you are not looking for someone who has fundamental differences with you. You're not looking for someone who's going to be argumentative or try and pull your way of thinking over to theirs. You're not, the Emperor is not swayed. The Emperor is in the Emperor's chair, is on the throne because they have stability, security, they make good decisions. This is somebody who is keeping all of their crap together. They're keeping it all inside. This is the person who does the sneak attack. They're the ones who are organizing behind the scenes until which time they're ready to execute their plan, and then they will. So I feel like you are looking over the lovers here, that you're out there flirting, putting people at ease, creating sparks here and there. But I feel like what you're doing is really analyzing them. You're analyzing them to figure out if they are compatible for you or not, because you're not getting yourself into a situation where every day is going to be a battle. I'm not doing that. We need to at least have some of the same fundamentals that we agree on, because I'm not going to go with every day being an argument or a fight. We've got the Three of Cups. I feel like you're going to be more social here, more social possibly in your community or at the workplace. It feels like that that you're feeling a little bit flirty and excited. The Three of Pentacles is about building something new. So I feel like you're building new, exciting, flirty connections here, but you're not really moving forward on them. I feel like you're just talking to this one, talking to that one, seeing what's compatible, what's not. I feel like if the people from work invite you out on Friday for pizza and beer, I think you go. I think that this Three of Cups is telling me that you are looking for your tribe, because the Three of Pentacles is community. It's friends of friends. It's a network of people. I feel like you're looking for your tribe. So I feel like you are going to be social, a little more social moving forward. But I don't think that you're making any big decisions about people that you're meeting. I think that you're just really out there to play the field, to flirt a little bit, to try and figure out what it is your flavor, right? You're looking for the right flavor. And then when you find something that comes into alignment or makes you happy, because I don't think you need any of this, to be honest, because you're the Emperor. I don't think you need it, because the Emperor is all the kings in the upright. That means that person's pretty confident. They know what they're looking for. And so I feel like you are already happy from the inside out. You're not looking for someone to come into your life because you want them to make you happy. You really don't care if anybody comes into your life, because you've got all the things that you need right now. But I feel like when things come into alignment, you will know it. We've got the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Cups. That's what I was just saying. You don't really care. You're dropping any expectations or burdens that are emotional. I'm not really looking for a love connection. I'm not really looking for romance. I'm looking for flirtation. I'm looking for a spicy conversation. I'm looking for fun, excitement. And so you're not looking to get serious in a relationship at this time. It feels like you don't really need it. And if you do need it, if you're like, I always want someone by my side, that's cool. Do what you're going to do. But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about an Emperor, somebody who has confidence in being alone. And so I feel like this Ten of Wands is telling me what you're doing is you're laying down the burdens of emotional connection, or of trying or having to pick somebody for a romantic connection. I don't think that's what you're doing. You're just trying to be happy and look for your Ten of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups. Yeah, so you may go through times and situations where you're just going to reject people one after the other. I feel like you don't want to be in a comfort zone. You want to go outside your comfort zone. But I also feel like not everybody's going to get a yes from you. Not everybody's going to get a second date. Not everybody's going to get a second flirt. Like, I feel like you're making decisions based on this Ten of Wands energy, which is, I'm just unloading all of those expectations. I don't have any expectations, but I am looking for the right one. So you're not looking for a person, you're looking for the person. You're looking for the last one, right? Tell me about the outcome here for Virgo. We've got the Chariot energy, we've got the Seven of Cups, and then when you can cut through all of the illusions, all of the confusion, that's when you'll move forward and go in for the victory. So the Queen of Swords is being honest and truthful, has boundaries, inviting people in. That's what she does, right? So I always see her from the side. She's got her boundaries, but she's saying, come on in, I'll talk with you. You can approach the throne, go ahead. And I'm just going to be really honest with you, though. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is who I am. And if those things don't match who you are, I'm not even going to be apologetic about it. I'm just going to state those things as they are. And if those things deter you, then you're not for me. So the Chariot energy tells me that you're very disciplined in how you think and how you deliver information and how you deliver what you're going to say. But the Seven of Cups tells me that the Queen of Swords is here to cut through all the bullshit, to cut through the illusion, to cut through the confusion of emotion. And I think that's why you're going at it here as the Emperor would. You're going out to get what you want, Aries, but also we have all of the King's energies here, right? And so I feel like you're being very truthful and honest with yourself about who you really just want to engage with and who you really don't want to engage with again. Tell me what's around the corner here. We've got the Sun. We've got the Magician. Yeah, the Sun is out and you see the Magician for who they are. So there's no illusion here. I feel like you see through the illusion because the Sun is here. The Seven of Pentacles tells me that you are somebody who is looking at the Five Pentacles, right? But you're looking at the possibility of, I want to disconnect. I'm not really sure what I want. The Two of Pentacles tells me I'm making a decision. The Seven in itself is altogether, it is, I'm waiting. I'm going to reassess the situation. I'm waiting to see what is going to bloom, what is not going to bloom. And it's time for me to wait until the sun comes out so I can cut through the illusions or the illusions that people are giving me. Look, when I say illusions, I mean, someone who looks really great, they have beautiful hair, beautiful body, beautiful nails, beautiful shoes, beautiful legs, or handsome, right? Really rugged looking, or a great suit, well dressed, and you're looking behind the curtain. And when the sun comes out, you're looking behind the curtain and saying, is this an illusion or is it not? So I think that you're waiting. You're not making any quick moves here because Aries is definitely going to go get what they want, but they're definitely going to do it with knowing what is going on first. They're going to keep their feelings under the surface and going to make their decision first. So I feel like, again, the Two of Swords is now 6 for 6. The Two of Swords is coming up. This is the decision-making time. And I feel like you are, Seven Swords here, that you are cutting through the bullshit before you even decide to step through this door. Because I feel like with the King of Pentacles, you have a lot to lose, right? What you don't want is the Five of Pentacles. You don't want to lose your house. You don't want to lose your time. You don't want to lose your energy. So I feel like the Four of Pentacles under the bottom of the deck is telling me that you are keeping everything under wraps until which time that you make a decision. And that's what the Emperor does. The Emperor circles and circles and circles until they figure out what they want. And then they execute the plan. And then it's go time. We have Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. We have Gemini and Aries. We have Pisces energy. Sagittarius, we've got Leo, Gemini, we've got Capricorn energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and Aries. We've got Cancer energy here as well as, I already said the fire energies, right? All right. Libra. Happy birthday, friends. We are in Libra season. Let's take a look. We have crossed over. We are now in the fall equinox. Let's talk about you, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Libra. Tell me when your birthday is, Libra. I want to say happy birthday to you. And probably other people do here as well. Tell me where your Libra placement is, please. Tell me about Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Ten of Cups. Wow. All right, we're starting with the Ten of Cups here, Libra. Right there. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups. And we've got the Chariot. Libra, have you found your person? I feel like somebody has got their feelings all up in a bunch. That's what it feels like. The Ten of Cups is here with the Six of Cups. I feel like you have found somebody who, I'm going to say from a distance, makes you feel like they could be the one. But the Six of Cups is you're going back in the memory bank, nostalgia. Now, I feel like this person makes you feel like you've known them forever, but it also, the Six of Cups is also, I'm thinking about the past, and I'm not really sure how I want to move forward from here. And I say not really sure because the Four of Cups is the comfort zone. You're going to have to come out of your comfort zone emotionally in order to be able to get the victory or get whatever you want. But look, the Chariot can be a wild ride, right? The Chariot is Cancer energy, which is always under the surface. Cancer, if you know any Cancers, feminine or masculine, they're going to keep it all under the surface until which time they feel safe enough to bring it to the surface, and that's when you're going to be fast friends with Cancer. But the Chariot energy is also about discipline. So I feel like you're trying to figure out, is this an illusion? Because I don't want to move too fast toward this illusion here and then figure out that I've made a wrong decision. So I feel like this is where it leaves you here. It leaves you in the Eight of Swords, Eight of Wands, the hurry up and wait situation. I feel like you really want to move forward really, really quick because you're passionate about the situation. You might have a fire rising. You might have Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries in the rising. But I feel like your Libra energy is trying to keep you in check by holding back a little bit, overthinking it. And that is completely a Libra thing. I feel like you're just needing to make sure that this is not a lie or an illusion, or maybe I'm seeing what I want to see. Like, it feels like you're trying to be very careful about the decision that you make here. But it feels like the reason that it's so uncomfortable right now, Libra, is because you've got to go outside your comfort zone to get what you want. And so the Chariot is asking you to have discipline in your emotional self to make sure that you're making the right decision. But I want to say that with the Ten of Cups here and the Six of Cups here, it does really feel like there is someone here that you have your eye on. Emotionally, you feel connected to them. They feel like a soulmate or someone you've known before, but you also have the memories from the past. And I think the memories from the past are what keep you in your comfort zone. I'm scared. It feels like it's a little bit terrifying because this person from a distance makes you breach the surface, right? They make you breach the surface with your emotions. And we can see the dolphins are in the air, and we know that scientists have told us that the reason that porpoises will breach is because they are happy. And so I feel like this person brings you emotional happiness. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse. We've got the Hermit energy and the Five of Wands. So there's the indecision, right? The indecision. I feel like you're quiet with this person, or that you are trying to hold space or distance with them. I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I think that this is a smart thing to do when you are unsure, until you get the discipline of your emotions and you are not running forward and fast and love bombing or accepting a love bomber in your life. I think it's really good for you to be in this Hermit energy where you're finding your light and your balance and going over the self. I don't think that you're looking at them saying, are you worth it? Because I think you think they already are, because the Ten of Cups is here. This person is already worth it to you. But I feel like the Hermit energy is, am I worth it to them? It feels like you're looking over the self. You're like checking over the details of you. It's the self audit that we do when we're in Hermit energy. Did I say that right? Did I do that right? Am I enough? Do I have enough? It's all of the things that we think before we take the leap. So the Five of Wands is you sort of battling yourself in Hermit energy until you come to this realization. The Hanged Man is here in the reverse, and that's the aha moment. That's no longer in a pause. That's like, I've got my perspective. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to figure it out. So listen, Libra, if you're the one that is in Hermit energy right now, quiet with people, detached, not talking, not really making communication with the person that you see as your Ten of Cups, it's okay. Because I feel like there's a little bit of hesitation here, because when you decide or when you execute your plan here, I feel like for you, there's nothing else other than victory. It's like, it's going to work out, or I'm not going to make a move forward here. But I think there is somebody here who's caught your eye, who's caught your fancy, somebody here who makes you feel happy when you're in their presence. I feel like you observe this person when they're maybe, when they're when they're interacting with other people and you're watching them from a distance, that could be online, that could be anywhere online, but it could also be in person. Maybe they're part of a social group with you. Maybe they know some of the people that you know, or maybe you're out with them and then one of their friends comes up and you watch how they interact with other people. I feel like you're in this observation mode. However you're doing it, you're observing right now. Is this person always happy, or is that just the facade they give me when they come forward? I can't even believe this. Look, I've read all the way from Aries to Libra, and the Two of Swords keeps coming out in every deck, in every reading. And I think that's because now that we've gotten through these eclipses here, especially this last solar eclipse, where Virgo asked us to pull everything out of the basement, and now we've got to go buy all the containers at the container store and put everything back together to make sure that it all fits. I feel like the Two of Swords is telling me this or that. You're now, if you're picking that, you're cutting this out. And if you're picking this, you're cutting that out. And so this is a really important decision. And it can be a little bit of a scary decision, because what do we have here? Three Swords. It can be disappointing, or it can be heartbreaking. And I feel like you're just looking at this from a distance right now, not making any moves, but it feels like you are with this Four of Wands, trying to stabilize your thought pattern, trying to stabilize your emotions here, discipline in the emotions, stabilizing the thought pattern. And I feel like you're ready to make some sort of decision. Yes, you're going to give somebody here reciprocal energy. This person is holding a pentacle, and so it looks here, Three of Pentacles. It feels like there is a foundation that is building here really slowly between you and somebody else. And then we have Two Pentacles, about to make a decision. Those are decisions, right? Twos are always decisions. And then the Ace of Pentacles. This is a really big investment for you, and so I think that's why you're going slow. We do have this Taurian energy of moving super slow and making the right decision and cutting out. Oh, interesting, because the Two of Swords here, I was going to say cutting out what I don't need, but look, there's a pair of scissors hanging here. You definitely are cutting out what you don't need. And so I think this Six of Pentacles, I've never read it before like this, but it feels like you're cutting out all the noise. That I've got the one pentacle in my hand and I'm about to make a big investment, and I want to make sure I'm cutting out all the noise, all the other people who are trying to give me emotional reciprocal energy, and I'm picking one, the one that I'm watching. Tell me what the outcome is, please. Oh boy, the Tower's here. Oh, look at that, the Ace of Wands. Oh, and the Death card. Woo, Judgment is here. Look, you're making the biggest decision that you've made in probably years, or maybe in even a lifetime. I feel like whatever decision you're making here, whatever it's about, money, health, home, hearth, relationship, it's going to bring you emotional happiness, Libra. I feel like you are in balanced enough energy. I feel like you are balanced enough, stable enough. I feel like you've really looked over all the details. I feel like you've moved at it slow enough. You've got the discipline, the emotional discipline. This person feels like they make me happy because they feel like someone I've known in a lifetime before. The Judgment, Death card, and Tower tells me that's it. I'm making the decision and I'm going for it, the Ace of Wands. So I feel like you're making the biggest decision that you will make in probably a lot of years, or maybe the most important decision you've made in a lot of years, because this Judgment card is about the rebirth, and the Death card is also about a rebirth. It's something that you are completely changing your life for. The Tower is here. Everything is shifting into the Ace of Wands. Something here is very exciting, very creative. It could be a creative project. You know, I always see you guys as the creative ones. Could be that you're releasing your book, or you're finding a publisher. Could be that you're finally selling your prints or your canvases online. Maybe it's time for you to finally get up there and behind the mic and sing. It feels like whatever it is, it's going to change your life path, because the Judgment card was here. Around the corner, we do see the Knight of Cups. We see the Sun, and we see the Five of Pentacles. It does feel like this is the calm before the storm. The Sun is here. I feel like you've made a good assessment here, Libra. I'm going to say you've made a good assessment, because when the Sun is out, you can see all the details, the facts, everything. And I also feel that whatever this is, this Ten of Cups thing, it is going to make you grow. You're going to grow personally, professionally. You're going to level up in your life. You're going to level up spiritually. It feels like this could be a love connection for some of you, because the Knight of Cups is here. It feels like you see this for all it is, and I think you're making a good assessment, I'm going to say, because the Six of Pentacles is here. I feel like somebody here is willing to give you even energy, I'm going to say. One more card. There it is, Eight of Cups. I feel like you are not settling for anything anymore. You just want to make sure that there's no illusions that you need to worry about, and that's why you're in this energy of holding back. But I feel the Emperor never goes in until they are absolutely, completely sure that it's going to work out in their favor. The Emperor is never going to show you a long laundry list of things that they didn't accomplish or things they didn't win. The Emperor never goes in unless they're going to win. That's why I think you're making the right decision. Because look, the Lovers is here. This person literally has been sent by the universe, or this situation, or this opportunity. There's no illusions to be had here. Look, you're holding back for a minute, and I think you will, and that's okay, because you're assessing it from a distance. But I don't think you're making the wrong decision. All right, because I think in the end it ends up being the Ten of Cups for you. We do have Piscean energy. We have Taurian energy here, more Taurus. We have Aries energy. We have Leo. We have Libra energy here. Virgo. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer energy here. We've got more Aries energy, Scorpio energy, more Scorpio. No, that's not Scorpio. Hang on. I haven't really even looked at this card. You're really wishing for something here. I was kind of, Charlie is like, but what about that? And I don't even know what he's talking about. But we do, we have Aladdin. They're on a carpet here. And this person is a unicorn. That's what I'm supposed to see. This person you've met is a unicorn. They're not like anybody else, and that's what's freaking you out, I think. We do have Piscean energy, more Pisces. Sorry, I had to look at that. On the bottom of the deck, we do have Gemini and Aries energy. So I feel like this person is a unicorn, Libra, and that's what scares you. They're not like anyone you've ever met before. All right, Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. How you doing, my friends? I hope you're good, Scorpio. Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio. We've got the Nine of Swords. What are you all worried about, friend? It feels, I've never felt this about the Nine of Swords before, but it feels like you're worried about making a decision. Oh, yes. Okay. So that makes sense because Charlie said the Two of Swords. And because every reading I've done between Aries and Libra right now has brought up the Two of Swords. So we'll see if it's a decision you're worried about. The Two of Swords might pop out for you. We've got, it might be about the Two of Cups. It is a decision, but I feel like it's a decision about a bond that you have with somebody here, whether it's platonic or romantic. It feels like there is a decision, a really big decision. It's going to shift everything in your life and put you on a different path here. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles came out on top of it. We're going to leave it there because I don't like to give blessings back to the universe. So you might say, well, what's the big blessing about the Five of Pentacles? And I feel like it feels here that you are making a decision before it's too late about the Two of Cups. Something here is making you feel nervous. It feels nervous. It feels anxiety fueled. It feels like there is a connection, a bond, platonic or romantic bond that you have with someone, and you need to make a really big decision about that bond. It feels like this bond is something that you've had in your life for a very long time, but it also means that this sounds so fixed. It sounds like such Scorpio energy. I need to make this decision because when I make this decision, I am not going back on this decision. This is one of the biggest shifts of my life, and I don't want to get it wrong because the Five of Pentacles is near. I realize that I could be impacting my finances, my health, my wealth, my energy levels, my effort, my energies. I realize I could be making a really big impact negatively on all of those things if I don't make the right decision. So I feel like this is a very weighted decision is what it feels like. The Queen of Swords is here with the Tower. It feels like you're making a decision that is going to shift everything, not only intellectually, but I think that whatever you say, because when the Queen of Swords speaks, she transforms things. And so I feel like whatever you say is going to be making the biggest shift in your life here. We do have the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. So here's why you feel so nervous. It's because this decision that you're ready to make, or you've decided that you're going to make here, is something that is either going to add to the trauma of your life because it's going to come to a terrible, horrible betrayal, and then you end up single, or this is going to be something that is going to reinforce the bond between you and somebody else. And so it feels like the decision that you make matters. We've got the Empress here because you know your worth. And it's not like, okay, let me just rephrase that. I don't think it's that you didn't know your worth before this, but I think that this is what's on the line. Because the Empress doesn't really need anybody. The Empress really doesn't need anybody to do anything for them, offer them anything. They don't need external validation. They don't need external finances. This person has made themselves self-sufficient. And so it's a really big decision for an Empress, because the Empress doesn't want to lose the self-worth, doesn't want to lose the self-identity that they've created by closing the doors to things that didn't match the way that they felt about themselves. So I feel like this is an all or nothing situation, and that's why I think that the Nine of Swords is here. It feels like it's an all or nothing situation, and this could mean an impact financially. It could mean an impact in a relationship that you've had for a really long time, and it could be a love relationship, or it could be a relationship with a member of the family or friends. And if it has to do with money, time, effort, and energy, that might be why you're being very careful, or you're very worried about what the outcome might be. I feel like this Empress energy is something that you really need to look at. How are you going to keep yourself intact, know your worth, keep your worth, no matter what the decision is? I feel like it's really all about you making the decision that's best for you. And it does feel like this decision that you're going to make is going to be something that is going to set the stage for years to come. Maybe 10 or 15 years is what it feels like here. Tell me more. We've got it's a heavy, I want to say heavy the third time. It's a heavy decision because it feels like you've been in a pause, or almost like frozen, because you know that either way, no matter which way you make your decision, you're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to release something or let it go. So you're taking your time to look at things with perspective, and this is why you're in the pause. It feels like you do want victory, but it isn't. It's a one-sided victory. It's going to be one-sided because it feels like you really don't need the external validation of somebody's love, somebody's money, somebody's time, somebody's energy. And I feel like either way, there will be a victory for you. But the question is, but what am I going to have to give up? Am I going to have to move on? This is a really heavy decision. This is really weighing you down. And it might be a big financial decision as well. It feels like it's really weighing heavy on you, and weighing heavy on your intuition. You're really checking deep with the intuition about what am I going to do for the next leg of my life, right? The next 15 years. We've got the Hanged Man is hanging from the tree of life. Am I going to grow my roots here, or am I just going to detach from this tree and go plant another? We've got the Five of Swords, and you are fighting yourself. Yes, it's a mental fight for you. Because everything is going to change with the Judgment card here. Everything is going to change in this connection. So either this person might be someone who says, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it together. Or they're going to say, no, I don't want it. And I feel like you know that either way, it's going to change everything. Tell me what the outcome is here for Scorpio, please. What's the outcome for Scorpio? Feels like this is a really big decision because you could end up single at the end of all of this. If you are in a relationship, it might be you're trying to figure out, is this relationship worth carrying on into the next 15 years? Because what the partial solar eclipse has left us with was, after we cleaned out the basement, right? Virgo has got us cleaning out everything and organizing. Now we got to go to the container store and put everything back the way that we want it to be built for the next 10 or 15 years. And so I think it's a huge decision you're making, and it weighs heavy on you. The Ten of Wands is here, but it's like, am I fooling myself? Am I going to be betrayed at the end of all of this? It feels like an all or nothing decision that you've been thinking over for a while. What's the outcome here? We've got the Eight of Cups. We've got the Page of Swords. and we've got the Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So it does feel like this is something that needs all of your attention, time, assessment. I need to look over the details, the pie charts, the Excel sheets, spreadsheets, whatever it is. It might be about money. Maybe that's why I'm talking like that. It might be about money, time, energy, effort, a business. There feels like some sort of big loss that will incur here if we decide not to stay together or not to get together. It feels like a major loss, whether that's a major loss of a relationship or money, effort, time, a business. Maybe it's a job. It could possibly be. So it feels like you're being very careful, getting all the information that you need. Eight of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, trying to learn everything about the situation and the analytics before you make the decision. Because look, it feels like we've got the 8 cups, but look, there's 2 cups standing here and one's poured over. I think we are talking about a relationship. Somebody here is trying to figure out whether we should strengthen the bond of this relationship, because if you make that decision, it's going to be sticky. It's going to be sticking you there for the next 15 years. And this is in the middle of all of that. Will I be betrayed? Will I be hurt again? Will I just add something else onto the trauma of my life? And I feel like that you're worried that you're going to end up single after all of this. What's around the corner? We've got the 8 of Pentacles, we've got the Queen of Wands, and we've got the Sun. We've got the King of Swords. In the distance, you are going to make the best decision for everyone involved. So please understand that. When you make a decision for you, you also make a decision for them, or whatever the situation is. It feels like the Sun is coming out. And so the Sun and the King of Swords to me is an aha moment. It's like, oh, I understand what I'm supposed to do now. I feel like when you decide you will make the bold move and you will move forward, I think this might be part of it as well. Maybe you live with somebody and you know that you're either going to have to move out and live on your own, put your own roof over your head, or they're going to have to move out, or we're going to have to split all the assets. No more me taking care of you and you taking care of me. Now we're all doing it on our own. So I feel like you will make the right decision, my friend, because the King of Swords is here with the Sun, and this is, I get it, right? And when the King has the sword up, whatever I say, do is going to be for the best for everyone involved, the best thing for our kingdom. And it feels like it's I want to say that there's a glint off the sword of the king, and when that happens, it's like what is said is transformational. So I feel like the Sun is here. You will make the decision that makes you happy, and in return, you'll be making the best decision for everyone involved. Because I feel like you're worried about manipulation, that this person is somebody who I feel that you do share finances with. And they are somebody you would call your soulmate, but it also feels like you don't want to be manipulated into a situation. You want the clarity before you decide to say yes to whatever the situation, job, relationship. Do we get engaged? Do we move in? You know, that kind of thing. It's a really big shift here. We've got Leo energy, Sagittarius and Leo. We've got Pisces, more Leo energy. We've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Pisces. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy, Virgo. Be careful, Virgo, a lot of Virgo energy here. Make a right decision and make it with precision. All right. Tell me about my fire family, about my Saggies. Tell me about Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag in the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week. Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag. Sagittarius, we've got the Magician here. Why do we have the Magician? Something here is about to transform. Something that maybe you don't see yet, that maybe seems like an illusion. We've got Two of Swords. Look, the only one that's so far that the Two of Swords is not coming up for is Scorpio, and that's because Scorpio hasn't made the decision yet. But I feel like everybody here is about to make a decision. I've had the Two of Swords show up in every reading except Scorpio so far. So I feel like there is something here, a decision that's being made. It's going to interrupt your flow. That's what I feel like. The decision that you're making is going to interrupt your flow. It's going to change things. All the butterflies on the card of the Magician. It's going to change things. It's going to change where you put your energy, where you put your power. It's going to change your idea of what ace you should use. All the aces are up the sleeve of the Magician. I can do what I want when I want to do it. I have the power to make any decision I want. But it feels like here with this Two of Swords that you are about to make a decision that is going to change. It's a hard decision because it's going to change a lot of things. But I also feel like it's going to interrupt your flow. The Hierophant energy is here. And it feels like you are somebody who is very, who digs in your heels. When I make a decision, I'm not going back. It feels like you are a little bit stubborn in your energy. And I have experienced that about a Sagittarius sun. Now, the risings are a little bit more loosey-goosey. And, you know, when it comes up in the moon energy, it's a little more of a big-ass, like 150, 200 horsepower engine on the back of a boat. It powers everything forward. But I feel like this Hierophant energy, it tells me that you want to make the best decision, sturdy, stable, honest. I want to do the right thing. I want to keep my structure. I don't want to have to change all the shit in my life in order to be able to accommodate this decision that I'm about to make. It feels like with the Empress in the reverse, it feels as though maybe you're questioning the worth of the situation, but I don't think you're questioning yourself. I don't think you're questioning self-worth, but it feels like, is this really what I want for my new path? There's something here that is going to be created once you make the decision. And I feel like the decision is sort of wrapped up in this energy of instability. The Magician and the Knight of Wands is giving me a little bit of unstable energy, but I know that I can do what I want. But what if I make the decision that destabilizes me? I want to stay stable. So give me more information on the Magician here. Tell me about Sagittarius. Tell me about Sagittarius. We've got the Seven of Swords. Yeah. Is there anything I'm not seeing? Is there things that are in my blind spot? It feels like you're trying to make a decision, or you're going to be forced. Maybe forced isn't really the thing to say, but it's going to feel forced because the Hierophant's here, because you're on a path. You want to stay on your path, maybe your spiritual path, your money path, maybe you're at a job, maybe you're building a business. You want to stay on your path and you don't want your flow interrupted, but something is showing up that is a wish fulfillment here, and it is going to sort of flip you on your head. It's going to make you question as to whether you have enough, are enough, or whether you want to move forward. The Seven of Swords is here. It's sort of giving me, the Seven of Swords is with the Magician is giving me a little bit of, what if I gaslight myself energy? Like whether maybe I want to see it the way I want to see it and that's it. But maybe something is lurking in the distance here. We've got the Six of Wands. And we've got the Devil energy. See, there's a little bit of doubt here. It feels like you want the victory. It feels like you see that there is a finish line in the distance, or that the thing is I feel like you've come from a place where people lie, cheat, steal. I feel like you don't have any other data to compare it to other than, I don't really know what normal relationships look like. I don't really know what it looks like when things are going to work out in my favor, because maybe Sagittarius, because you're the Queen of Wands, you're used to having to be resilient all the time. And it might be why you're questioning with the Empress in the reverse. Is this really the most abundant thing that I can do on this path and this structure that I've created for myself? Whether that's spiritual structure or money or wealth or whatever it is. I feel like this Devil energy is giving you doubt. But what if I say yes and then I'm attached to this thing forever? I feel like you are worried that there are things hiding that you can't see. But you know what? Leo is next door. I'm going to say Leo is next door to the Seven of Swords. So I feel like that you feel like there's things in your blind spot, but I don't think there are. Because I think if you are in the Magician energy, that you are in a psychic energy of, I've got all the tools, I've got all the skills, I've got all the resources. I can do whatever I want at this point. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. See, I think you've grown. You've grown, and maybe you don't see your growth, Sag, but I feel like you've grown and you've learned to have a sharper eye with people who might deceive you. People, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you've grown and you understand that there are people who will try and deceive you with their emotions, but I think that your eye has become too sharp for you to be screwed over like that again. I don't think that you will be, because I feel like you're in your hermit energy. Look, I feel like somebody here is meditating, connected to self, connected to the universe, connected to your deity, whether that's prayer or meditation for you. It feels like you are connected to yourself emotionally. So I think that you're going to do the best thing for you emotionally because you've grown emotionally. And I think that you expect other things from, you expect certain things from certain people, or you're not moving forward here. I feel like the Empress is not really so much, I don't see my worth, but more of a, am I ready for this new path? It feels like you take a moment to go inward to think whether or not you're ready for this new path, because I've really built this solid structure. And if that person doesn't fall into my structure or the job or the situation or whatever that is, I feel like you're worried that it will interrupt your flow. We've got the Six of Cups. We could be talking about somebody who you have a love interest in, because Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups is here. There is somebody here who's very soft, I want to say. They are very kind. They're very intuitive or empathic. You feel connected to them in sort of a nostalgic way, and maybe you haven't known them very long, and maybe that's the part where you start analyzing or overanalyzing or feeling very, very worried that maybe this is a toxic connection. Maybe this is a connection of, maybe it's a toxicity bond. Like maybe this is an old wound coming up, and maybe I'm attracted to this person because of my wound, and maybe they have the same wound. I think that you're overthinking it all. Honestly, I think that you are, but I feel like you know that you are going to have to make a decision. It feels like somebody is probably going to ask you out, or they're going to ask you if you want to join their company. It feels like a fairly big decision that could interrupt your flow. So whatever path you're on, it's going to make you sort of veer off the path for a little bit, and you want to make sure that you've got enough within you, skills, resources, time, effort, energy, money, worth, to be able to get back on the path if it doesn't work out for you. Tell me what the outcome is for Sagittarius. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the Seven of Wands, and we've got the Two of Pentacles. It does feel like there is a heavy decision to be made here, because it feels like you're crossing over, that you are making a decision to invest somewhere and build a foundation with somebody. So maybe it's building a foundation, like literally, like maybe a nonprofit organization, or building a business, like building a foundation like that. Money, effort, time, energy, that sort of thing. But it feels like you're ready to go all in, because kind of that's who you are. You go all in or you don't. So I feel like the Ace of Pentacles tells me that you're ready to make some sort of an effort or an investment. And it feels like you want to make the best investment for you, but it also feels like it's time for you to stand up and build some sort of foundation with somebody or the situation or a business, and or a job, and you're not really, you're sort of weighing it, right? Back and forth. It's like, I'm not really sure which one is going to give me the most grounded feeling, because I feel like ultimately the Hierophant is what you want. You want to feel like you're on the right path in a very grounded structure, a very traditional way. Traditionally, you felt grounded in your structure, and I don't think you want to change that. Tell me what is around the corner for Sagittarius. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Knight of Swords. I think you're going to think about it, and I think you are going to go forward. I think you've got more questions, and I think that's good, that you will be honest and truthful, checking in with your intuition, being honest, right? Knight of Swords is here. That's Gemini energy. Being honest with yourself. The High Priestess tells me that while you're quiet or silent, you're going over details, figuring out if this is really what you want. Is this going to make me feel in regret when I make this decision and go off the path, veer off the path? No, you're doing the right thing. I don't think you need to worry. I think right now you are in this indecision moment, this moment of indecision. Where do I put my wand? I'm not really sure if I want to put it down, but I feel like the Wheel of Fortune comes through, and you know what? You're not going to be undecided when the time comes to make this decision. You're not going to be undecided. When the Wheel of Fortune shows up, it's because you're being pulled into the new cycle, which is already here, by the way. We are in October. That's card number 10. We're in Libra season. And so I feel like this is destiny. It's destined that you would have all of these feelings come to the surface. And it feels like with the Knight of Swords and the Five of Cups, that these are all really emotional details that are coming to the surface, emotional feelings that you're trying to keep in your keep inward, I want to say. But the Wheel of Fortune is here. It's destiny. It's time for celebration. It's time for change. It's also time for expansion. So I think whatever we're talking about, whether this is a romantic connection for you, I feel like you have a lot of nostalgia. And the nostalgic thoughts are about love. And I don't think that you want to end up in a toxic sort of relationship or a toxic workplace, or I don't want to make a decision with somebody that is going to be detrimental to my structure that I've built over this amount of time. Got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius energy. We've got We've got Virgo, we've got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Gemini energy, more Pisces. Capricorn, Taurus, and Libra energy, more Taurus. We've got Gemini and, Magician. Aries, Aries and Gemini. We've got, can't make a decision. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. All right. Capricorn. Tell me about Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn. Tell me what's coming up for Capricorn the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week. Capricorn, we have the Star. We have the Empress, the Justice card, and the Five of Wands in the reverse. You know what? I think a decision has been made. I feel like if you've been waiting on a decision to be made, whether that's within yourself or external to you, for some of you, this is a legal decision. Got the King of Swords and the Justice card. To me, this is the lawyer, the judge, the magistrate, the doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist. But it feels like it could be a legal thing for some of you. It feels like the decision is here. Five of Wands in the reverse says no more indecision. So it feels like somebody is making a decision. I don't think it is something that you're going to be sad about. I think it's something you've hoped and prayed for. I feel like it's a decision that's going to make you feel healed. The Empress is standing by, waiting for the things that she or he is attracting, right? The feminine or masculine energy. And I think what you're attracting is stability. You're attracting restoration. You're attracting honesty and truth. And I think that that's what's coming here. I think that's why the King of Swords is here. Tell me about this Aquarian energy here with the Star. I think you're attracting wish fulfillment. Whatever this Justice card is here, you're attracting wish fulfillment. There's a decision here that's being made. You'll hear about it soon. It's not just yet. But a person of influence is making this decision, which is going to shift everything into a very healed, stable, sturdy place. It's like somebody's been going back and forth, trying to make a decision. It does feel like the Emperor is making the decision. So the Emperor is whoever they are. They're a person of influence or who is tasked with making the decision that's best for the entire empire or the best for everyone involved. So they could be a judge, magistrate. They could be somebody who's a doctor. It feels like this decision, there's a plan going on in the background that possibly you don't know anything about just yet, but I feel like something is about to be said in your favor, or it's going to work out in your favor. We've got the World card, we've got the Strength card, and we have the Nine of Cups. Something is about to make you very happy. Now, the decision that's coming up, whether it's legal or not, I think that it is going to cause the ending of a chapter. It's going to be something that you can lay to rest. It feels like an achievement or a milestone. This is a big milestone that is being held back from. You've been held back from your happiness for a long time because this thing would not wrap up. It feels like finally someone comes along who can do something, who can say something in your favor. And while you were sitting here in the Nine of Wands, look, there's ivy growing around that last wand there, and it feels like you've been waiting a long time for someone to take action. Ivy only grows on things that have been sitting there forever, like castles in Scotland and Ireland. You know what I mean? Like England. It grows on things that have been sitting there for hundreds of years, and it might feel like you've been waiting for hundreds of years for someone to take action. And so you're waiting for things to move, take action. It feels like at the moment when you feel like you cannot hang on any longer, I feel like that's when the Emperor shows up and says, this is being said in your favor. All right, tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Knight of Swords. It comes in quickly. The Three of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Look, someone else is not going to be very happy, but it ends up in you being in the Nine of Pentacles with more money, more energy, more effort, more time. It ends up you having more than enough, whether that is energy, effort, time, health, Pentacles are could be material world things. But the Knight of Swords tells me that you probably will hear about this in the next 7 days, and it is going to bring healing, because we got 4 swords here. It's going to be aggressive, I think. When it feels like it, for some of you, if this is involving money, it feels like it's going to be an aggressively large amount of money, or that finally something is showing up and you're just going to get the paperwork that is, somebody's going to show up to your door and say, please sign for this. It feels like it's like you don't even have to negotiate it. Just the check just shows up. You've been waiting for it, and all of a sudden somebody shows up and says, please sign for this check, if it's money. We've got the Six of Swords around the corner. We've got the Magician energy. Well, for some of you, it is money. It's money, effort, time. It's a long-term relationship. It's a job, or some sort of an upgrade. But this is something that is going to help you out for the next 10 years. It feels like this is setting the stage for the rest of maybe the next 10 years, possibly. Maybe even the next 20 years. I'm just saying, we got 10 and 9, which is 19. Could be the next 20 years. It feels like something is finally moving. It's taking you out of the chaos and taking you to the calm. It feels like this Emperor's magic. It's like you've gone lawyer after lawyer after lawyer, or person after person, or bank manager after bank manager, or employer after employer. And finally, you find the right one. And we've got the King of Wands in the reverse. And I don't think you had to push this person. I don't think you had to inspire this person. I think that things had been stuck. And I feel like the Emperor is the magic one who brings all of it together. So gives you the job, gives you the time, effort, energy, the good news about your health. Whatever it is the Ten of Pentacles. It's stability, health, wealth, movement, things that are going to be in your life for a very long time after this. And I feel like you couldn't do anything but wait. That's what you did. That's what your position is in all of this, was to wait to attract it. And I feel like you did attract it. You attracted the right person who's helping make the decision that is going to give you the stability that you need for the rest of your, possibly for the rest of your time here, right? And the rest of your time here on Earth, but for a very long while for those of you who are younger. So we do have Libra and Taurus. We have Aries. We have Sagittarius and Leo. We have Taurus energy. We have Piscean energy. We have Gemini and Virgo energy. We've got the Leo energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. Libra is here, Aquarius, Gemini, and Sagittarian energy. All right, Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about my beautiful Aquarians. Let's shake you out of this energy that you've been in with me for the last couple of weeks. Tell me what's going on with Aquarius. We want to see some freedom. Let's move forward here, Aquarius. You finally made the biggest decision, if you saw my reading for you yesterday. And now let's see what happens going forward. Tell me about Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. This is for the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Aquarius. 7 of Wands. Okay. 7 of Wands tells me your boundaries are up. You're standing up for yourself. We've got the 8 of Cups. Yep, there it is. It's good. It's good. Look, I feel like you, no more manipulation is what it feels like. No more people manipulating your money, your time, your efforts, your energy. I feel like the 8 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles is telling me that you have finally detached from the thing that I feel like was keeping you stuck. And I feel like what was keeping you stuck is you were feeling manipulated by something, someone, a situation, a job, an employer, a person. It feels like the Ace of Pentacles. It tells me here that finally the ace, or the seed that you planted, catches, and it feels like it's now rooting. So I really love, yay, that you're detaching, walking away, and investing in you. No more giving your time, efforts, and energy to people who are not going anywhere, doing anything, stuck in their energy, people who really don't care, right? She looks sort of despondent as she grabs the Ace of Cups. People who don't value what you bring to them in terms of the Ace of Cups, then they just don't deserve you. And I feel like you are moving away from this energy. Oh yeah, the Ace of Cups is here. I feel like you're walking away from the Ace of Cups. It feels like you're walking away from a relationship or this thing that you thought was going to last forever, in favor of you investing in yourself. No more manipulation here. It feels like you are finally listening to your intuition. You know, the pink bubble is here, right? And I always do that when people are away from me that I love or I'm connected to. I always imagine them in the pink bubble to keep them safe, and that's what the pink bubble is, right? You'll notice if you watch The Wizard of Oz that Glinda comes to Oz in a pink bubble. But I feel like you've now created space around yourself that is healthy. You've created space around yourself that where there are boundaries. I feel like whoever manipulated you taught you a really grand lesson. Carl Jung would call that a catalyst, somebody who was supposed to show up to give you a lesson, and I think that you received that lesson, and I feel like now you are you've got your boundaries up. I'm going to say that you're not trusting anything and everything that you see. Yeah, you're holding back here. The Eight of Wands, and we've got the Knight of Swords. So it feels like what you're doing is you're holding back from people, places, and things until you understand what the impact it's going to have on you is before you make that decision. I want to say with the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords that you probably just finally said it. You just said it to somebody. Look, my boundaries are up. You don't get into the pink bubble. I'm here. I need to go. I'm disconnecting. I'm gone. Thank you. Thank you. No. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. You're not for me. This is not my destiny. I feel like you finally get out of this Eight of Swords energy where you've been stuck. And I don't think it's fun for you, just to be honest. I don't think you're doing this just in a head over heart manner. I feel like it's really pains you to have to walk away. But after being stuck in this prison of the mind, overthinking everything for such a long time, I think you finally release yourself. But the Wheel of Fortune tells me that you understand now that the place that you were was not your destiny. That was not your destined path. And I think that you finally understand that. So you may have been in a commitment with someone. Maybe you were in a commitment, a relationship. Maybe it was a job, but it could have been maybe a marriage. It feels like something came up here that, you know, the heart chakra pops open and you're like, shit, now how do I tell this person that I realize that they are not the one that I'm going to be with forever? It feels like something that comes on super quick, but I think that you're listening to the Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse. I think that you're understanding that the place that you were in was not your destiny. Look, keep moving. Move towards the sun, my friend, because that's where all the good stuff is. That's where the happiness is. I feel like now you're invested in your own happiness and you're moving forward here. Tell me what else I need to know about Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius. We've got the Star, that's your energy. We've got the Six of Cups. And we've got the Five of Wands. Look, I feel like you've been fighting yourself about whether or not you should go back round to somebody that you feel very emotionally and maybe even psychically connected to. The Star, this particular Star energy tells me wish fulfillment, but I feel like there is someone else on the other end of this string. It feels like you have somebody in mind that maybe is a person that you can't get off your mind. Maybe someone who you feel like you've been through lifetimes with, or maybe you've known them for a really long time since you were young. It feels like you have a connection to somebody here that is psychic or emotional or empathic possibly. And I think that you've been fighting the thoughts about that person the whole way along. I feel like feel like that there is too much competition. I don't really want to put myself in the competition. It does feel like it is a little bit of lack, feeling like that maybe you felt like you weren't enough for this person, and maybe that's why you turned away from them and went to this other thing that wasn't your destiny. But understand, please, that I think you needed that lesson. I think that the thing that didn't work out for you is actually the thing that worked out for you, Aquarius. I feel like you needed that lesson. You needed somebody to teach you as the catalyst, somebody to teach you about what you wanted and what you don't want. And I think that now your thoughts are turned back to finding your wish fulfillment. It might be in a person, but I feel as though there's somebody in your memory bank with the Six of Cups that I feel that you've been fighting thinking about. It feels like I want to think about that person because then I miss them. They feel like home. We have the Five of Cups. I feel like there is two fives here, which tells me things are going to change really quickly emotionally and in your actions. I feel like you're going to be making some sort of step towards someone else or another situation. But first, I think things had to spiral out of control, I'm just going to say, and had to go to shit, because I feel like you were supposed to learn what you wanted and what you don't want. So I think that the Five of Cups tells me you're making some sort of quick decision or a big decision to go back to a place where you felt comfortable or felt at home, or the person who is attached to the other side of this string. It feels like you never lost contact with someone psychically or emotionally. Could be the Empress. We've got the Empress here. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, or sorry, the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles is here. I feel like this Empress here is somebody who makes you feel grounded, stable, and sturdy whenever you're around them. They're like, it's okay, I got you. Like this person, I don't think that they really want anything from you, because understand the Empress has everything that they need, right? So I don't know who this person is in your life. It could be the person you feel very connected to. The Empress is a mother. It could be your mother, but it could be your father as well. But the Empress is essentially someone who has everything they need, and they don't require anything from you, Aquarius, but just your presence. They just want you to be who you are, in your, in your little let my freak flag fly kind of way. They just want you to be who you are. This person has no expectations of you, but you do feel safe around them. You feel like they're in this sort of energy of, it's okay, I've got you, because that's the energy of the Empress. The Empress is always anybody who connects with the Empress is going to thrive in their life, but they're also going to learn lessons they need to learn in order to level up to be the Emperor. So I might be talking to someone who, whether you're a man or a woman, who is living in their masculine energy. It feels like this Empress here is somebody who you are excited to see, and I feel like you're going back to see this person, back nostalgically. It almost feels like you have memories with this person, and it feels like you are finding your way toward them slowly, carefully, but I feel like the reunion is going to be exciting. It feels like that you will see somebody here that really accepts you for who you are and doesn't really need anything from you. I feel like this is a very slow moving process, so it might even be a while, a year, until you see this person. Maybe you haven't seen them in a year. We do have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, the Ace of Wands is face up. We'll take that as well. So the Eight of Swords comes back, and the Eight of Swords is telling me, finally, I understand who gives me stability, time, effort, energy that I don't even ask for. And I think it's the Empress. And I think those are the people now that you've realized you want to invest in, that you've already grown something, put a seed in the ground for you and the Empress. And whoever this could be a platonic relationship. This could be a friend. It doesn't have to be anything romantic, but I feel like there is an exciting connection between you and someone else that maybe you used to talk to but you haven't spoken with in a while, and I feel like you will be seeing that person again. I think you require their presence because they're a person who doesn't need anything from you, and I think that you've just come from a situation where somebody took everything from you, and so I feel like this person is somebody who is stable, secure. They're someone who doesn't really need to take anything from you. This person is someone who is very reserved. I would say they wouldn't hold back, but they're very reserved. They have everything they need. They're very solid and grounded, and in a place where I feel like the Eight of Swords in the reverse, you can sort of dump your thoughts out onto this person's lap, and they'll organize them for you and give them back. That's what it feels like. But I think there's an excitement here that you want to see them. Yeah, this person gives you a lot of reciprocal energy. We have the Two of Wands. I think you've already made the decision, and maybe you're making your way back to this person, but it feels like you might surprise them. You might show up and just say, hey, I'm back in town, or hey, can we go out for coffee? We haven't talked to each other for a while. Let's find out what's going on here. We've got Aries. We've got Gemini energy, Scorpio. We've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We've got Aquarius energy again. We've got Virgo. We've got Gemini and Aries energy. We've got Libra and Taurus energy. And we've got Leo energy here. All right. Last one. Last but not least, my two fishes friends, my water family. How you doing? Happy Libra season. Let's find out what is going on. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week, Pisces. Tell me what's going on with Pisces, please. Tell me what's going on for Pisces. Pisces, look at you. standing here, ready to liberate yourself in a situation, ready to say something, ready to invite somebody in and invite them to approach the throne, and ready to be very honest and truthful with someone here, or someone, a situation, maybe even yourself. We've got the Ten of Cups. Oh, it feels like it's happy. Oh, the Ten of Swords is here. Oh, and the Two of Swords is here. Look, I think it was probably, I think it was just Scorpio and Aquarius who didn't have the Two of Swords, but everyone else is making really important and big decisions in their life. Okay. And I think the same is for you. It feels like there is somebody who is to approach the throne, if you get what I mean. I feel like you're on the throne, and I feel like you're sitting there as the Queen of Swords. You're somebody who has a lot of discernment. You've liberated yourself in life, and you're now telling yourself the truth, and you're being honest with people around you, because you've realized the boundary, which she has, which is the Queen of Swords. You've realized that the boundaries are actually your protection, and you don't really care if people walk away from the boundaries. I think you're done with the bullshit, to be honest. I feel like you've had your heart broken over and over again through betrayal, and you're not doing this anymore. I really feel like there's a decision to be made here. I feel like the decision is the Two of Swords, so you're going to either say yes or no, or you're going to do this or that. You're going to cut that out if you take this, and you're going to cut this out if you take that. It feels like a decision that is going to be made here. It feels like somebody is possibly coming back into your life. The Ten of Cups is telling me it might be a family member. It might be someone that you shared the Ten of Cups with in the past. And it feels like this person betrayed you or hurt you really bad. It was something that broke your heart. It broke you. It literally broke you. So I feel like you become the Queen of Swords because of, it's like you're the phoenix. You came from the ashes. It feels like you got yourself back onto the throne here, but it feels like this person, whoever they are, it feels like they broke you. I feel like you lived in the Five of Cups for a long while, but you became the King of Pentacles. So you rebuilt yourself, and now you're sitting on the throne, and I feel like somebody here is coming back from the past. And y'all know that I'm not a fan of things that come back from the past, but listen, I think that sometimes things come back from the past because we end up at a crossroads. Two of Swords. We end up at a crossroads, Pisces, whenever it's time for us to move to the next vibration or the next cycle in our life. The universe is always going to bring us two choices. Do you want to go back there? Do you need that lesson? Or do you want to go forward? Do you need new lessons? And it's okay if you need the old lessons, because not all of us get it the first time. I can think of times in my life when I had to go through the same cycle a few times in order to get it. Tell me with the Queen of Swords here. Tell me about the Queen of Swords. We've got the Five of Swords. Oh, Charlie just said them fighting words. That's what it just said. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups and the Lovers. Look, I think you're going to be surprised by someone that you had a deep connection with in the past. I feel like it could be another water sign, or maybe this is you, right? Piscean energy. The Lovers is here. It's Gemini energy. Do you know what I feel like them is fighting words is what Charlie said when I put down the Five of Swords. So I feel like you've already moved on from this, be honest. I think you've already moved on from this. It really broke you. It brought you to your knees. You built yourself back up. You found your way to the throne. And now you're just being honest with people and keeping up your boundaries. I feel like this Five of Wands here, Five of Swords is telling me that nobody is ever going to pull you out of your character again. They're not going to convince you of anything. You already know what the truth is. You know what the truth is because you have gone through a process of cutting away everything that is not the truth. So now you know exactly what the truth is. I think you're going to be surprised by somebody that you had been in a relationship with. I feel like this person's coming in to say sorry about something. I feel somebody is coming in to give you some sort of an apology. And I think it is with the purpose of trying to get you back in their life romantically. Tell me more about Pisces, please. But look, you're standing here with all these swords. I don't know if they're getting even past the property line. I think you're going to meet them at the gate. We've got the Ace of Cups. This is somebody that you were completely and totally head over heels with at one point. This person is banking on that you have not rebuilt yourself, that you're still requiring their attention. They don't understand that you are the one who is the alchemist, that you took all the pain and heartbreak and terrible thoughts and falling to your knees. You took all of that and you alchemized it into passion, into healing, into the love of self. And we have the World card. And then you shut that damn door. And you put the slats across it, and you nailed in with the hammer. You nailed it all in. That person, I feel like they have even less of a chance of getting back into your life than they realize. I feel like you rebuilt yourself and healed yourself, and in this moment of alchemy, this is your achievement. This is your milestone. Your milestone is, look, the door is closed. No, thank you. No, but this person is hoping that you haven't changed, that you're still vying for them, that you really want them still. We've got the Two of Pentacles. It feels like there's a decision to be made here, and honestly, I think it's already been made, Pisces. I don't know that you're going to let this person back in. And I mean, some of you will, and please don't feel bad. I'm not telling you to do anything that you don't want to do. Please, if you think that you want to go back and try again because you didn't learn that lesson and you need that lesson again, then please go do that. But I feel like there's somebody here that I'm reading about who's already learned the lesson, who is healed from it, who's alchemized, who knows the truth, somebody who realizes that I'm going to block anybody who's coming into my life to betray me, to stab me in the back. I'm not going to allow that to happen again. But I think somebody's coming in to apologize and hope to pull you in closer into their life here. The outcome, we've got the Two of Cups. There it is. We've got the King of Cups. There it is. Oh, and the Tower. Look at that. That's exactly what I was saying. The King of Cups is keeping it all under the surface. Now, this person may have healed. I'm just going to say they may have healed. They may have healed, and they're going to tell you how much they've healed, how much they've changed, how much they are now emotionally available. They're emotionally intelligent. They're coming in with an apology. They've grown from the page to the king. I feel like they are coming in with the hopes that, and I really do feel like they have changed, to be honest with you. But I think that with this Two of Cups and the King of Cups, they are still in this energy of not telling you how they feel. So that could be Cancer, but it could be Pisces or Scorpio as well. Two of Cups, Cancer energy. We've got Three Cups. They want to have a reunion. I feel like you bump into them somewhere. I think it's the bump in, or if you still live in the same place you did when they used to come over before, they might just show up at your door if they have access to you that way, if they live near you. It feels like it's a tower. It shifts everything, but this feels like a surprise because the Page of Cups is here. It feels like you bump into them and old feelings arise. This person has changed, I'm going to say, but it also feels like you're over it. Some of you are just over it. You're like, why would I even do that to myself again? It doesn't feel like 10 of Cups anymore. Tell me what's around the corner for Pisces. We've got the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Moon energy. Yeah, I feel, and the Four of Swords. You've done so much healing. I feel like what you don't understand is that there is going to be the bump in. It feels like with the Moon energy here that things are not as they seem. I feel like you're going to read this person like yesterday's news. I feel like you're going to read them head to toe. You're going to know their energy, know that they've healed, know what they want. You're going to know all of it. And it feels like you're going to hold back from it anyway, because you know that what happens when you get into the murky area with them. Yeah. I'm just hearing a song. Hang on. What is that song? It's Dua Lipa. That's what she says. Yes, she says, if you get under them, you're not getting over them, is what she says. One, don't answer the phone. You know that they're drunk and they are alone. Two, I can't hear the lyrics right now. But she says, if you get under them, you're not getting over them. That's what I'm just going to say. I'm going to leave you with that. Dua Lipa. I don't remember what the song is called. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody can name it in the comments. One more card. Eight of Cups. That's it. You're out. You're out because you know. You know what you know. The Knight of Wands is here. You know what you know. You know that this person wants victory with you, but you also know that they still are not going to give you the stability that you want, and you're not going to settle for anything less than what you are, what is owed to you. They still make things very murky. they're still undecided, they're not really sure. You know what I mean? Like they come in, and although they've done all this growing, they're still playing the same old freaking games, which is they're not telling you their feelings. You can feel it underneath. They're not saying anything to you. But I really do feel like it's the bump in. Don't settle for it. I'm just going to say, don't settle for it. Some of you might see them as healed and try that again, but I feel like for a lot of you, you're in the Queen of Swords energy. You're like, nah, bro. No, thank you. I've closed the door. I'm not going back to the old thing. So we have Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Sagittarius is here. We have Pisces. We have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Pisces, Cancer. We've got Scorpio, Taurus. No, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Sorry, Gemini. We've got. Yeah, it feels like we've got a lot of signs here, but it feels like ultimately that some of you, most of you, I think, are going to hold back from this. I'm going to leave that right there. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you, and I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. Love you guys too much. Just stay away. See you then. Bye-bye.